All right, people, good evening, everyone, and welcome to our day two of our strategic business management session. I think people would still join in. Just give it a minute and then we shall kick off our session. But whilst we do that, any questions, any interesting observations that you had last 1 week that you wanted to talk or bring to strategic business management? Because there are a few things that have happened and maybe, is that can we be linking that to strategy or not? Anything interesting, guys? No worries. We'll probably pick it up as we discuss ahead. Hi, good evening, guys. So again, let's start our session now. And there are two things. Once again, mics off, and unless you're contributing, and kindly keep your cameras on to get the best out of discussion and contributions that you make to this subject through this session today. Yeah? So those two things is that I ask for again this week. Let's move on to what we want to talk about in our day two today. And in our day two, or session two rather, this is what we are going to be focusing on. And most importantly, the environmental analysis, the pestle analysis called as the macro scan, and the environmental analysis that is also called as the Porter's five forces. So we'll be discussing both these elements today, and then we're going to talk about benchmarking and what does SWOT do and how does it benefit the strategy growth process or the strategy formulation process. I am not audible. Okay. Can somebody say anything? Am I not audible or hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm able to hear.
Okay, probably. That's what okay. All right, cool. Wonderful. So I am audible, right? Great. Awesome. So now let's move on. Nilesh, I think you got to check at your end. Maybe there's some issue at your end. Yeah. So let's try and understand our first another tool or framework that we want to bring on board today by discussing the PESTEL framework. And while we know that we want to be profit centric, we were always profit centric, but that becomes an important objective of business today because we want to be profit centric, but in a very sustainable manner. For example, we want to be profit centric, but taking into account customer needs and expectations. At the same time, we want to be business centric and profit and customer centric at the same time. So yes, profitability is our key objective. We are not a not-for-profit organization, and therefore, but that does not mean our business is solely profit centric. Okay, we need to survive. Survival is very, very important, especially in this business environment around us and the competitive environment in which we operate. We must make sure that we cut through the clutter in a very efficient and effective manner. Stability is very important. We want to be cautious, yet at the same time, we want to take risks. And that is the balance that we want to take as far as our stability versus growth objective is concerned. We want to grow. And that's where we decide, do we grow organically or do we grow inorganically? Do we grow through a red ocean space where we beat competition, or we grow in a blue ocean space where we make competition redundant and we are creating the demand that probably never existed by tapping into the non-user segment. Efficiency is probably through automation and digital transformation. And how can we make things better through efficiency and effectiveness? Profitability. How can we make sure that profitability is achieved in a very robust and a comprehensive manner? So these are a combination of objectives that we have at various business levels, at the organization levels and at the function unit levels, ultimately that a business needs to achieve. Would you believe that a business would have all the objectives, or would have some of them, or probably just one of them? If you were to set objectives as a strategy person for your business units, what approach would you use? Would you use all, some, or one of them? Anybody? All of them. Yeah. Carvela, you say some. So why do you say some? Because which ones would you not take is what I want to know when you say some.
Sir, I think like
Mhm.
when an organization would be starting, it may not be possible to have all of these as objectives.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
yeah, let's say like when an organization would be a startup, the like the primary intention would be to establish and survive for the initial years. Then they would be thinking about profitability after some time.
Okay. Okay. All right. Uh, so okay, fair enough. What I would look at is I would look at survival in the introductory phase of the business. You should not have survival at the maturity phase of business. That's where stability comes in. So I would substitute survival and stability depending on the growth stage that I am. But I always want growth, though I'm surviving or stabilizing, and efficiency and profitability. These three I will definitely have, irrespective of what organization is and uh, what is the size of the organization. So yes, that would be a good one of as far as I would concern. I would be able to put my objectives for the business units that I am a part of. Okay. Business environment is getting a very, very complex nowadays. We have seen so much of movement in this environment that it is not funny as to how much of that is dynamic, how much of that is, agile, flexible. Our decisions are kind of changing every day. Uh, Too many things being talked about from the environment perspectives, and they have a far-reaching objective within the organizations that we are to be able to achieve what we want to do. So yes, it's complex. Yes, it's dynamic. Yes, it's multifaceted. And yes, the new environments that we talk about must have an impact in terms of we achieving our plans. I want to play this video, though funny, but says a lot in itself, is what I think about the environment, especially post the pandemic. Yeah. Okay. So having said that, yeah, can we just open up the discussion? And I want to talk about, have you heard of the concept called macro environment, or popularly called as pestle analysis? Anybody heard or done it? Pestle analysis, PESTLE.
We read it we saw it in the async content only.
You saw it in the async corner. But as far as
Yeah.
work is concerned, have you done it at work, or have you done it in the practical world?
No, no, I have not
No.
done it.
Okay. Anybody who has? Okay. Now, for pestle, the P stands for what? Pestle in the pestle, the P stands for political,
Political.
E stands for economic, S stands for social, T stands for technological, L stands for legal, and another E stands finally for environment. Yeah. Now, can we try and answer what are the top there are lots of things happen, but what are the 5 or 6 key things that have happened in the last week or 10 days that really has, created a lot of wave in the global markets? Any things there? Hello, class. Any key things that you noticed? I'm sure there's a lot of talk in your political, not political, in your professional and personal circles that you interact with. I'll start by saying the Silicon Valley Bank fiasco. And yes, it was a fiasco. The entire markets went up and down at that point of time. And until HSBC came out and said we are buying the unit for the Europe operations, and the bank really went southwards as far as its position was concerned. So that was one thing that happened in the last 2 weeks of time that we're talking about. Anything else? And I would place this SB, the Silicon Valley Bank example. Where would I place it? The Silicon Valley Bank example, which aspect of Pestle would it fit into? Yeah, political, economic. Yes, Abid.
Hi, sir. I would say that it would fit into technological as well as economical both.
You have a choice to put it into one. It can't be at both places.
Economical.
Yes, it is absolutely economic, as your friends have also put it in the chat. So it was an economic downturn that happened, not at the 1 or 2, but at the global level. And we almost thought we did, but we almost were going to call it a time period where 2008 recession came back onto board. So yes, that was one big thing. Any other such big things that have happened? Hello? Okay, what about Adani? That was 2 months ago. In the recent times, anything? What about you guys? You don't have this thing for the environment, is it? You just are happy with your jobs? There's so much talk that has happened at the global level that markets, analysts, everybody was talking about it. The other next big bummer that happened was the collapse of the Credit Suisse. Yeah, Accenture, just hold on, Shashi, we'll come to it. The Credit Suisse part that says credit has, and that has kind of collapsed until the regulator came in and until the UBS bank was therefore told to acquire this bank. So that was the second one. I will put that again into economic. Third, this one, what Shashi has said, let's take that, which is Accenture firing without giving a proper reason as to what was the need for the firing. And people within Accenture also don't know the reason. It's a hush-hush, top secret thing. But yes, that says a misalignment of technological demand in the story. And this I would put under technology. So that's my third story of the environment that I want to talk about. What else?
But this Accenture firing can be in the economic also. For example, they are not getting.
Yeah, it can be, but since I want to put it in one of them, I choose to do it under technological because technology has got disrupted with a poor, taking them on face value with a poor projection that they did. The technology is going to be impacted according to them, and that's why they fired people. Okay, you could place it under. You could place it under, what should I say? You can place it under economic, should you need to. Any other reason? Any others? That's 3. What is the fourth one that happened? NATO's engagement with India, perhaps not in the top 5 or 6, please. Yeah, it is there, but not in the top 5 or 6, Nazim. Fed further raised the interest rates by 0.25 basis point or 25 basis points, as a result of which borrowing becomes more expensive, cost of living becomes more expensive, puts the pressure on the economy, and as a result of which inflation is something that we are coming back on to discuss that. So that's my fourth story, definitely going under economic. Fifth story, on the lighter side, the Mughal media, sorry, not Mughal, the media giant, as they call it, Mr. Murdoch, he got married at the age of 92, perhaps, yeah, not perhaps, definitely for the fifth time, creating a new buzz among event managers to be able to woo this target segment also. And that's a social trend that I will put it into. And that's my story number 5. Anything else? Story number 6. China is meeting with Russia for facilitation and end the war. The West terming it as a time where it is more nuclear arm deals as opposed to collaboration facilitation deals. So that's my 6th story, definitely going under political. 7th, the Swiss story that happened on the climate change, and that is now saying technology can help you achieve your climate change objectives. And when countries meet this year in Dubai for COP28, they need to not just present what they did, but they need to come up with a status of what they are planning to do to get to their goals and objectives. A zero carbon goal, for example, by 2050, 2060, or 2017, some countries and markets. So actions and status is what needs to get presented. This goes in as part of the environment story in the environment that I talk about. So that's my 6th story of the day. And there are many more, but these are the 6 ones that have happened in the last 2 weeks only in terms of how markets are. Yeah. Plus Trump's arrest, at home, Mr. Rahul Gandhi's arrest, and all these are adding more to political turmoil. Yeah, and this is the environment that we are operating in, and that is definitely going to impact. So what you thought as a year-end closing at 31st March may not be the same strategy when you start your books or start your year as of April this year. It is going to be a different environment that we're going to operate in. So this, people, is something that is called as a pestle environment that we have to be very, very wary about in today's time and age. So that's my pestle that I spoke about: political, economic, social, technological, environmental, and legal. Why do we do a pestle? We want to do a pestle because we want to understand the environment that we are operating in. So therefore, we should be able to align our strategy in line with the environment to be able to exploit the opportunities and fight the threats that we are operating in. Okay. And if we are not able to do that appropriately, then we are not utilizing our resources properly, and we are not aligning our goals and objectives to environmental scans that are apparent to us. And hence, it is essential to do a pestle analysis today. How frequently do you think you must do a pestle analysis? Daily, hourly, monthly, quarterly, fortnightly, annually? What do you think is the frequency of the pestle analysis that you should do? Okay, Nazreen, you're not helping. Your answer is creating more questions. So what is the answer? Weekly, annually? You can do it any frequency that you like, but actionability has to be on an annual basis unless it is regulatory. So there is a regulatory change come in. Obviously, there is no choice, but you got to change it in the middle of the year, in the middle of the plan, in the middle of anything. But if it's not regulatory, then you can't look at the environment and impact that in your plans and strategies. It has to be done and an annual basis. And in the annual basis, you need to do it so that it reflects your plans and strategies for next year. Okay. But true or false, guys, without a pestle, there is no plan. Or another way of putting that is, I want to say is, pestle is essential to develop a strategic plan. Absolutely true. And therefore, without a pestle, there is no plan. And without a plan, there is no strategy. So this is one of the key ingredients that you want to take with you when you are discussing your strategic plans for the future. So that's my political environment that I want to talk about. And there are some examples that we said. And when, for example, when Trump lost his vote in 2014, in 2018, or rather in 2020 again, this time, that part of the year. And when Biden came onto board, he refused to accept that, he lost, and that created a big wave across the market, especially in the US market, where they did not acknowledge, or he did not acknowledge the loss. And he said there's a problem in the system, and that problem in the system created more problems for the people to accept it. So here's a video that I want to share.
As we understand it, in the last few moments, Congress, you can see there behind me, has gone into full lockdown. No one is able to enter or leave the building. And the Vice President, Mike Pence, who was presiding over this proceeding here behind me today, has been escorted from the building. And why has he been? Well, because in the past hour or so, protesters tried to break through the barrier to storm the building to stop the proceedings from going on inside, where Joe Biden was being certified as president. You can hear the police cars all around me. We have heard flashbangs going off. Protesters have come up to me showing me the tear gas in their eyes. This is increasingly a very edgy, nasty scene here. And why are they here? Well, earlier, their President Donald Trump encouraged them to rise up, to protest. He urged them to fight back, and he told them, and all of us, that they would not accept this deal. And that is exactly what they are saying that they are here to do today, not to accept that deal. Because what was going on, of course, was Joe Biden being certified inside that building behind me, with Mike Pence presiding over the proceedings. He had earlier made clear to Donald Trump that there was nothing he could do to prevent the process from going on. He doesn't have the authority to throw out the Electoral College votes that have ushered in Joe Biden as president. And inside, the nation's top Republican, Mitch McConnell, urged Republicans, rebels who were objecting to the certification of Joe Biden to stand down. He told them the votes, he said, the states, the courts have all spoken. If we overrule them, it could damage our republic forever. Well, it's not clear if those senators were listening to Mr. McConnell. Certainly the proceedings have been locked down now, and it's pretty clear that no one here will be listening to him either. A very defiant tone here. You can see the police all around me, Kathy. Well, Matt, as you have just alluded to there, the New York Times, we gather, we have no internet reception here because, you can see what's going on around me. Protesters are banging on the door. They have got inside. They breached the building here behind me. Can you imagine lawmakers who were due to certify the election of Joe Biden are instead finding themselves face down on the floor, trying to protect themselves from marauding protesters who are trying to get in and access the building. And in the last couple of minutes, the mayor here, Muriel Bowser, has issued across all our phones a citywide curfew for today, beginning at 6 p.m. this evening until 6 a.m. Tomorrow morning, where essential workers, she says, including healthcare personnel, because remember, let's not forget we're in the middle of a pandemic here, and the media are exempt. I mean, Matt, were we in a banana republic, you might say what is going on here is an attempted coup. What else can you call it?
What about the inauguration in 2 weeks' time exactly, Siobhan, briefly? It doesn't look good for that, does it?
Well, you know, the plan is for it to go ahead, provided, of course, that Joe Biden is certified. That has been derailed today. One only assumes that this all will pass, this will calm down, and that the inauguration will go ahead as planned. But this is Donald Trump's America, so, Matt, nothing is guaranteed.
I like the last line they say, that this is nothing is guaranteed, and that's how it was at that point of time and throughout his reign. In terms of, complete unpredictability, any statement, anything being made without any backup, and that was quite chaotic. Nobody knew. Markets had, had responded very badly, and it was a time and period where nobody knew. Would it be the Democrats that will take over? Would it be coming back to the Republicans? Yep. Now there are many more political turmoils that we talk about. You flip the paper today and you see governments topple. You flip more pages and you see governments, kind of getting, washed out in no confidence motions. So political turmoil or stability is questioned quite a lot across the globe these days. So this is on the political side. Obviously, it covers any and all of these. Now, a regulatory policy will be a part of the political part, but the law or regulation is going to be a part of legal. So if sometimes when you're not able to distinguish between a political and a legal act, you kind of combine the two together. But otherwise, it's everything and anything with regards to political moves, and that goes in this aspect of pestle. Economic, as we've talked about, there are many more economic indicators nowadays than they were otherwise. And the examples that we looked at, about majority of them were economic. Yeah, so inflation, exchange rates are just some examples. It could be many more than these in terms of GDP growth rates, or in terms of per capita spends, in terms of consumer confidence, and all of these are going to have an impact in the way the markets and therefore the businesses are going to operate. Social, cultural, very, very important things happening around us. And these are the key, the most dynamic ones that keep the strategy, thought of, because you have to reflect this in your products and service offerings. And in a way, what you then say is, I got to align myself or my organization to customer needs and expectations. And that's what the social cultural trends are all about. Any key trends that you now see last 1 year that you want to talk about as social trends? Yeah, any key changes that you see last 1.5 years, 2022 and now till now? People are more aware of their health, which always was the case. How are they more aware of that now than they were in 2020? Hybrid work from home model introduced. Okay, now work from home is a concept that exists only in the developed world now. In the developing world and in most of the Asian markets, it is no choice but to get to work. So there is no hybrid world as such, but it is work. And there is no, not hybrid. There is no work from home. It's either a hybrid or it is a come to work policy. So that is something that we've seen. We thought work from home is going to stay. but that is true only for the developed world or in the Western world. Okay, fair taken. E-commerce, we had said growth rates are going to be super phenomenal over the next few years, but that is now kind of changing when you see millennials and when you see Gen Zs reversing the trend and wanting to get into offline rather than online, and therefore everybody who went into online predictions has got to change, and that is what was seen with job cuts at Amazon. Yeah, and they basically predicted the market wrongly, is what they said. Technology is again on the rise with ChatGPT in the news. 4.0 launched, lesser features but more secured features. Yeah, so these are the kinds of things that we have talked about that are, Ukraine loan is not a social thing, Madhuri. It is more economic or political rather than anything else. So a social trend is basically with regards to people. Business travel, not yet started. Holiday leisure travel started. And as a result of which, business travel is expected to kick off and start off in 2024 end or 2025 is what they say, back to original levels. Yeah. Absolutely. Health and fitness is definitely more thought of now than ever. And a lot of us are becoming very, very conscious and careful of how to stay healthy and stay put and not to forget those good habits that we are wanting to pick up. Yeah. People not able to fend for themselves. Okay. Is that true, Jyotsna? How? And why would you say that? Demographic analysis, there is a shift in the population with Gen Zs coming in and millennials coming in, and these are the lots that are going to come into the workforce. And with these kind of lots coming into the workforce, the work style is going to change. No longer will the workforce have people work of a similar profile. In fact, Gen Z will be working with an experienced person, vice versa. So there's going to be a lot of turmoil in terms of the organization culture that you're operating in. To create that same work with that same professionalism is going to be a challenge. Work-life balance is another strong one that has happened on the social fronts. One of the key reasons to join a company is work-life balance. And one of the key reasons to leave an organization, one would assume it's salary, but it's not salary, but it is rewards and recognition. And because I'm leaving, I also ask for a pay hike. And this is true. This is from the Hayes Global Study 2022. And they have said this as a study. Yes, and they said that, and it's quite surprising to see that salary is not the key driver for change. Technological environment, very much on the rise. And if technological environment is very much on the rise, it's going to be a new, different world tomorrow. With Chat GPT on, we were all discussing and talking about the fact that should we go back to the paper-based examinations as opposed to doing what should I say, projects and industry kind of work. Okay, but so those are the things that was very much in the talk last month this time. So let's talk about an interesting video of a robo cafe. And this is in the Dubai market, but I'm sure there are a lot of them in the markets around the globe. But this is quite an interesting one. The first of its kind. It was released in 2021 and 2022 beginning, and I thought I will share this with you.
This is a robot making me a drink. Experience with any robot in any restaurant was here at a Yo Sushi, where chefs prepare the sushi, then put them on a conveyor belt. Then we select the food that we want off the belt. But robots have slowly become more and more involved in how we operate as a society. Even today, we're seeing them help us with medical cases. We're seeing them help us with food. We're seeing them help us with transport. We're seeing them help us with building all types of things. But in most of those cases, they operate alongside or by a human. So the question remains, what if no humans were involved? What if robots fully controlled the experience? Welcome to Robo Cafe, Dubai's first ever cafe run fully by robots. So how does this all work? The cafe is run by waterproof robots. There's a chef bot who prepares the food. There's a barista bot who prepares the coffee. There's a bartender bot who prepares the juices and the mocktails. And there is a waitress or waiter bot who brings the food to your table. And when you order your food, you order on a smart menu. Now what happens? Now we just wait. All right. Over here. Over here. There we go. Okay, thank you. Is it just gonna chill? Let's try the coffee, see what it tastes like. Hey, thank you so much. My compliments to the barista. Excuse me, can I get some? So you may be thinking, how does this whole thing work? Basically, the whole system is synced up into the cloud. So the whole network and programming brings it all together and everything runs smoothly and flows. And one more thing, the robots even dance. The end one is really into it. All right, here we are in the kitchen of the Robot Cafe, and here we have all the meals that have been pre-prepped. Then we have the chef robot, the chef bot. Yeah, chef bot, who gets all the food ready for us. Next up, we have bartender bot, and this is the robot that prepares all the mocktails and juices. Last but not least, we have the, I like to call her or him the coffee bot, the barista bot. Calling it coffee bot. To the guests at their table. Get a side shot. I'm gonna go into wisdom mode right now. So Robo Cafe was mainly built as a social experiment to see how people would embrace a fully robotic experience. And I get it, technology is here to stay. And if anything, robots are only gonna play a more active part in our lives in the future. But the way that I feel is that you need that human interaction to fully embrace the moment. Like that teacher when she shares an experience or a moment that inspires you. Like that barista who makes the coffee just the way you like it with that little touch. So even though robots and technology are gonna fill a big part of that world, some places still need that human touch. Much love. God bless you.
Yeah, so technology, yes, very much on the rise, and everybody is talking about it. But the problem still remains to where it is, which is data reliability, data availability, data cleanliness. And if you don't get that root cause right, no matter how sophisticated your technology is, it's not going to help you achieve your plans and strategy. So you can start small and grow big. And if you don't use technology as an enabler wisely, I personally feel that yes, it's not going to work. We might end up on the dark side of emerging technologies. So something that we want to be mindful about. And yes, it is a great enabler, provided we are getting our grounding right, provided we're getting the way things are going to work with inputs coming in from the technology investments that the organizations make. Okay. So that was technology. Yeah. The natural environment is the environment around us with uncertainty, with climate change, with the amount of, like yesterday or like whatever, a few days ago, the weather change in the Delhi NCR region came back into the news. The weather in the US comes back into the news. The weather in terms of the cyclones and earthquakes that happened right in the Central Asian zones. And all of these are talking about climate changes, which needs to be looked into as part of the environment. So organizations are pledging. Somebody has to go on mute, please. So organizations need to be very, very mindful about how they're aligning themselves to sustainability as a key component of their strategy. Today, it kind of shakes up discussion, but tomorrow there are predictions that, in sustainability, if not thought through as part of your strategy, is going to create problems, because sustainability is going to influence loyalty as a big time, and you must be seen as a corporate social responsible citizen. More importantly, you must be seen as a sustainable organization. Yeah. Legal environment, obviously, this is, either you like it or not, you have to adhere to it. So this is something that we want to work very strongly with in the legal environment that we want to operate. And we want to make sure that we operate in an environment that we are adhering to all the laws, regulations, and policies that we want to be a part of, accepted to be a part of the corporate world or the society in which we are operating. So some data which talks about the corruption in the countries, and it's out of 100. So not that they are the most corrupt. The highest score, the 0 equals to the highest perceived level of corruption, and 100 equals to the lowest level. So these are countries with very low levels of corruption, and Denmark, New Zealand, right up there with co-sharing rank 1. And then you have rank 3 being jointly shared by Finland, Singapore, Sweden, and Switzerland. The 2021 report also looks the same. So this is something that I want us to work on in terms of the pestle environment. So if you can take a picture of this, what I want us to do is I want us to prepare a macro scan of the environment, especially this macro scan will be used by Fitness First to put its strategy and plans together. We don't have to do the plan or the strategy. We have to do the scanning, which will be used by Fitness First to put something together. Some basic information is provided here. You can add to the information that you would like to from the Google that you are going to be a part of, that you will have access to, not being a part of. But I'm going to put you into a breakout room. And ideally, I would like to put you into yeah, 4 rooms. Can I do 5 rooms? Yeah, 5 rooms is fine. I've put you into 5 rooms, guys. So whoever is in room 1, let's just put this back on. Whoever is in room 1, guys, you need to work on So whoever is in room 1 is going to work on political and legal. We'll combine them together. Room 2, economic. Room 3, social. Room 4, technological. And room 5, environment. Yeah. And this has to be done for this activity that we will be working on right now. And that's the macro environment or pestle analysis that you want to put together. Yeah. Did you get a picture of this so I can stop sharing? All right, cool. So I hope as soon as I announce, people leave, and yeah, somebody has left. So anyway, we are 3 people in the group, and please guys, please be a part of the group so that people can, want and take advantage of what you are doing, and they can really benefit and contribute from each other. So kindly be in the room and don't just log in and enjoy and just go somewhere else. Kindly don't do that. So we'll give you about 20 minutes to put it together max. And in the interest of time, just put 2 points together for the factor that is assigned to you. Share the activity page once again. So let's do that for the benefit of the class one more time. And that's the page. So Mansi, just take a picture, and anybody else who hasn't taken it as yet. Cool. So let's give you your 20 minutes. As we do this, more and more people are leaving, but that's okay. We still have 2 or 3 people in the room. And
can you just put the slide again, please?
I just did that. Yeah, you guys
Yeah,
have
yeah,
a WhatsApp group or no?
yeah, we do.
So nobody shared it. Kindly share it on the WhatsApp group, guys, so your friends can get
Yes,
it.
yes, I'll do that.
Okay, is this done now? Vinay and anybody else who wants to understand this?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. All right, so we have 3 people exactly. 2 or 3 people have decided to go to the beach, so let them enjoy there while we do what we have to. And yeah, you're all 3 people in the room. So about 20 minutes max, guys. And I will close the rooms and then we will all come back here. Okay. Cool. I think everybody's back. Okay, let's move on. Yeah, all rooms have closed. Great. So I put this together, guys. Let's talk about whoever was there for political and legal. Let's start with that. So which room was that? Who would like to say? You can have a spokesperson. Others can speak, but yeah, room one will take the lead on this. Or whichever room that was that did political and legal. I think it was room one, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sir, Vinay, Jyotishman, and Ankit were in room one.
Mhm.
But my sincere submission, I think we did political and environmental. We did not do the legal, so sorry for that. I think we
Okay.
missed that.
Okay, all right. Go ahead. Let's see what you did.
Yeah.
Political, please.
Yeah. Political, some three factors that we try to consider here was if we see look at the bigger picture at the government at the center also, then Fit India movement was one of the one of the movement or one of the initiatives that the government has planned and has been a mandate for quite a long time. So maybe fitness first as a company can look at how it can
No, when I'm sorry. Fitness first as a company can look at that as strategy. So just let's look
Sorry.
at scanning the environment, because from the environment, you will then strategize for fitness first.
Okay.
Yeah. So we will just take findings from the environment. So Fit India movement planned or is it implemented?
Fit India movement is implemented.
Is implemented. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
Similarly, yeah.
what is this movement all about?
All
Private
about
sectors also we have to follow it, obviously.
yeah, and it's about creating awareness. More and more funds have been allocated in this.
Okay.
Similarly, it can be clubbed along another political mandate, Make in India, as an initiative which the government has launched.
Yeah, just a minute. Yeah. So can I say this? This, yeah. So government is promoting health and fitness. Fit India movement initiative. That's basically on awareness and resource allocations for the initiative. Okay.
Since we just went through as a team, we went through the Fitness First website as well. So they are into equipment also. So if Fitness First can see, Make in India is another mandate which has come big time, which as a as a political mandate the government has been pressing a lot on it, and maybe Make in India is another mandate which.
But Make in India is for manufacturing. How is it related to fitness industry?
Yeah, because when we went through the website, it also says that they provide equipments. So when they say they provide equipments, maybe
who is providing equipments? Government?
Fitness First. No, Fitness First.
But that is their strategy, right?
Okay.
So how is it linked to political? What is the government doing? If government is providing, then that's a finding.
No, the idea, the thought process here was there are funds, grants allocated PLI schemes for the manufacturing industries under the Make in India initiative mandate. So since Fitness First is also providing equipments, if they are manufacturing, then this is another lever which they can leverage it.
Yeah, but again, that is strategy, Vinay. So that we are not talking about. So we are going to talk about Make in India initiative mandate. And what about this mandate? Companies in India encouraged to make goods and services.
Yeah.
Okay, including health and fitness equipments.
Yeah. Okay.
Equipments and what do you say, value additions like your towels, etc., your lights, etc. All of that will also be necessary. Yeah. So that we can say, of course. The equipment, yeah. Now here, while they promote this, there is also a yoga day, right?
Correct. Yeah.
And that is what we can also say that here, amongst other things that private sector does. But I think this is good for us to get an understanding of the political environment for the fitness industry in the Indian market. Okay. Good. Let's environment, just hold on. Let's see what the
Yeah, sure.
environment guys can do, and then you can add there.
Sure.
No. Let's go to economic, please, people. Whichever room was doing economic.
Hello? Yes, super. Chavi baju mani kot bidu.
Economic, please.
Kot pa. Nam Rachi wali akka ki. Huh? Then?
Whenever we could hear your private conversation, so please go on mute.
Sorry.
Economic, please. Any team that was doing economic? Hello.
Hi, this is team
Hello.
2. However,
Okay.
I'm a bit confused whether we were doing economic or social. However, let me give you your points and
What did you think you were doing? Yeah, that's important.
we just approached the question which was given in the screenshot, which says
Yeah,
you
but
have been employed by Fitness First in India to devise a
yeah,
strategy for them to increase market share.
correct. But
So
that is a strategy. But you had to do a pestle, right? When you went in as per rooms allocated to you.
okay.
So what did you do? You did a strategy. Let's hear it and then we'll put it. Yeah.
Okay,
So
here's
with you guys, room 2, we are going to do economic. So let's hear it, what you did, and we'll try and put it under economic. Okay, go ahead.
okay. First of all, for the fitness club, we should be organizing events, or you
We
can make.
should be organizing events as a strategy, Vijay, so I will not take it. Like we heard in the earlier discussion, fitness first, whatever fitness first should do, that's not the objective. What is the input that fitness first should take from the environment, and that is the objective. Yeah.
Okay, fitness first should first of all place itself in a.
Again, strategy, Vijay. We are not talking fitness first at all. We are talking fitness industry. Okay.
Okay, I do not have much points, but
Okay. But on the economic front, now that everybody's thinking, anybody guys, on the fitness side of it, what's happening around us on the economic front? Can somebody give me this number, please? The PMI index for India for the month of February 23. March, I'm not sure if it's published as yet, but we're good with February 23. Can somebody give it to me? I think it was 53 or something, or 56, 53 point something. Yes, anybody? Hello?
It's 55.3.
50?
5.3, I believe. Yeah.
55.3%. Yeah. Okay. So that is this. This is for India. Now, what is the PMI index? The PMI index is the Purchase Managers Index. No longer do we look at consumer income or consumer buying pattern or consumer confidence. We look at the PMI index, and this score ranges from 0 to 100. Any score above 50 shows a strong economy where the purchasing power is high and the consumer confidence is high, and therefore consumers are willing to spend. And therefore, in the economic context, PMI index is widely referred to when you want to look at consumer confidence, which you should look at, especially when you're doing a fitness assessment of the Indian market or fitness industry assessment of the Indian market. Okay. Good. So that is one economic. Any other economic changes that you want to talk about? Anybody, guys, including room 2? Nothing economic, people. Wow, nothing economic. Disposable incomes, so spend will increase. This is going to be a social trend, Hina, so just hold on to it on what Gen Zs are doing. Any other economic? Is tourism on the rise in India? We can say change in the population mix, lot more younger population. So younger population. India does not have an aging population. India has a young population, and therefore, I don't know if you can check the number, you can say, but I'm going to assume whatever, say, 50% of the population is between 18 to 25 years of age.
But shouldn't
That's
it
how I'm
be in the
defining.
social?
No, this is the population mix, so that's economic, yeah. If you want to say anything else, you can also say inflation rates. And you can say, what is the inflation rate? Because that's going to impact purchase decisions, though PMI is high. But cost of living, especially with the new trends going around, we can say what we want to say. Our inflation rate, I think it is 6%, but you can confirm that. And GDP growth forecasted for India 2023 is at 5.6%, latest numbers from IMF. Yes, that talks about the general condition of the economy. Okay, so that's economic, guys. Let's move to social, please.
Yeah, we were doing that social part.
Okay.
So it was Abid and Gaurav along with me. We were doing this. So the first point was that people are getting more health conscious.
Okay, people are getting more health conscious. So I think in the case study, do you have a statement that relates to what you guys have said? Yes, it is, right?
Yeah, it is.
Here. And this is the statement that we have in the case. So we'll take the statement exactly the way it is in the case study. India is experiencing growth in health and fitness clubs, which are becoming a strong preference among youth. Not only how consumers care for health, well-being, and appearance, but also how they work, travel, and socialize. Okay. Yes, Nazneen, you have a question?
Well, sir, I have a point here under socio-economic.
Okay, hold on. Are you in the same group as Shashi?
No, I'm not.
Okay, then just hold on, please. Let them finish and then you can add. Yes, Shashi?
Yeah, influence of the celebrity and increase in the social media influence. So
okay, social media will be, okay, social media influence. Okay, anything else that you want to say? Because social media, I would like to put as technology rise. So anything else that you guys have got? Because there's a lot of things in the case study itself. In fact, you can pick from there only and put it here if you believe so.
Yeah, consumer buying behavior post-COVID resulting in focus towards healthier food option, and maybe we can think of having some healthy food items to be sold through our fitness club. That can
okay, that's your strategy.
Yeah, but consumer buying behavior post-COVID resulting in focus towards healthier food option. That is that scenario.
Consumers prefer healthier food options, right? That's what you want to say.
Yeah.
Okay. Especially post-COVID.
Post-COVID.
Okay. Good. This is something that's in the case and I have taken it. Players are offering specialized solutions such as yoga group exercises to target consumers.
Then next one is unsaturated and mixed clientele market in India.
Okay.
Different areas having different buying behavior based on that.
Yeah, so that's, I'd say customers prefer healthier food is what you're saying.
Yeah, next
So
one.
what do you mean by, yeah, but what do you mean by buying behavior is different by areas?
Buying behavior means the capacity of the consumer to buy. For example, if people are opting for the lesser cost, so package will be provided based on that.
No, so what are they doing? What is the finding? Are they opting for recent cost, or is that a strategy?
Different area we will go for the different strategy.
No, that is not what we want to talk about here, right? This is entirely scanning the market. What is the market telling you? And then you will put the strategy together.
Yeah, so we will be scanning the market based on the
you are scanning the market, Shashi. You will be doing a strategy. So the assignment activities scan the market, and from there, then you will put the strategy together.
Yes, so we will scan it, unsaturated and mixed clientele market in India. We will scan the market, how the buying behavior is there.
Yeah, but that is what, no, so I want to know what is the buying behavior. You will scan the market as an action. So what is, this is something in the case study only, and I've put in, consumers are looking for new and unique experiences. And obviously, so these are the 3 points that are in the case. And like this, what you said, they prefer healthier food options, especially post-COVID. Absolutely correct. And that goes as a finding. Anything else that you want to say as a finding?
No, I guess this much only. Maybe okay. Gaurav, if you can add. This much only.
Okay, Nazneen, you know what is the point that you wanted to add?
Thanks, sir. I had a point on socioeconomic factors.
Socio or economic? We have two here.
Sorry. Social factors.
Social factors, okay.
That after the pandemic, mental health issues and anxiety is also on the rise.
So mental wellness. Mental
wellness or well-being. Yes, please.
Yeah, on the rise, right?
Correct.
Okay, and companies and employees investing in this initiative. Okay, influencing the insurance industry. The people are wanting to getting insured against this because the treatments and stuff are expensive, and now the discussion is who's going to bear the cost of this. But yes, counseling and mental wellness is definitely on the rise across age groups. It's a good point, though it's we wanted 3, but since it's a good one, we included it. Currently, let's avoid experiencing says the same thing. All right, great, good guys. Let's move on to technological.
So well, this was our point, group 4.
Okay.
So
yes,
just
go
an
ahead,
introduction
please.
Here. Post the pandemic, a lot of home exercises gained popularity.
So can I say online?
Correct. Online fitness.
Online fitness engagement on the rise.
Correct.
And you had yoga online. You had what else online?
With virtual trainers.
Yeah. So you had yoga online, and you had even training
meditation.
on meditation. You had training also.
And various other exercises.
Yeah, etc. with virtual trainers. Yes, and that's
virtual
what we wanted
trainers,
to.
Also AR and AI personal.
So robots also, is it?
Augmented reality also, sir, where they could track movements.
Correct, yeah.
With artificial intelligence.
With AI tools, I'll put it.
Yeah. AI-powered fitness solution in order to track the body movement, gyro sensor, GPS tracker, wearable. And
you've used it, huh? You've used a lot of it.
No, sir. Actually, I am in Germany. The fitness first is also in Germany.
Okay. All right.
To measure speed, direction, body angles, elevation level,
correct,
pace and ranking among other participants in order to track the athletics.
Good. Any other point, please, on the technological?
Fitness gadgets will be the next point. So all the giants, right from Apple to Google, are investing in fitness gadgets.
Okay. Large tech companies such as Apple, Google, introducing fitness gadgets. Okay. Good. Any other guys?
Yes, other could be big data. So in terms of having an app or some kind of interface will help us collect a
So
lot of
mobile penetration high. If you can tell anybody what is the mobile penetration in India, that percentage can come here. And just for assumption's sake, we're going to say 80%. Probably it's more, but that's what it is. And mobile apps on the rise. Use of mobile apps on the rise.
Yeah, use of mobile apps to measure air quality index
Yeah.
and blood oxygen
Even
level.
mobile applications and smartwatches, right?
Exactly.
So smartwatches will be covered in the fitness gadgets point.
That's where you want to put it. Okay, fine, fair enough. So let's add it here, fitness gadgets, including smartwatches.
I think someone mentioned about social media influence as well.
Yes, social, good point. That is there earlier. So we're going to talk here, social media on the rise. Yeah.
So sorry to
So use of social media on the rise. Yeah. Yeah.
So with the mobile penetration point, the point that I was trying to make was an app or something like that will help us collect a lot of data.
Correct. So that is your strategy, Nazeen. That is your strategy.
All right.
Okay. Why will you do that? Because of this reason.
Understood.
Okay. Cool. Great.
All
So
right.
let's talk. Anybody who did the environment, guys, the group or the team that did environment?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So basically, these fitness centers are like of big size kind of building, and they use lot of electricity. And generating electricity from the conventional sources will be increasing the carbon footprints.
Okay. Now, okay. So therefore, what is the environment telling you?
Like electricity consumptions will be much more, and then
will be is more of an action future, right? Currently, what is it? So I'm going to say organizations are cautious of electricity consumption, right?
yes, and water consumptions also, excess water consumptions.
Electricity and water consumption. Okay, that's that. Anything else?
Yes, sir. Like peoples will be coming through the individual, their private vehicles, that will again create the pollution.
Yeah, but that's already been created. So what are we doing about it? Besides odd even, anything else being done?
That's a sustainability, right, sir?
We should go for electric vehicles.
Yes, so therefore sustainability on the rise. And within sustainability, we are going to talk about the triple bottom line, which is people, planet, profit. Okay, great, cool. And there's one more thing about in the case study about the environment. Fitness is a competitive industry with many players. That's given in the case study. So environment also means competitive environment. And we will talk about that also. Cool. Anything else, guys, or this is good? The other team that did environment also, political and environment. What about you guys? I think it was Vinay, or Vijay.
Yes, it was Vinay, Ankit, and Ayushman.
Yeah. So anything on environment?
Yeah, I think one of the point we also picked up was the awareness of sustainability, importance of sustainability, which is coming around.
Okay, fine. So that's covered.
Yeah.
Okay,
another
good.
point, environment, was about the overall environmental impact that the industry would have.
On so what on what, and what will that impact be?
Just a moment.
Sir, is it also considered legal point is the age group?
What about legal point age group?
It's the only them specified age group is allowed.
Right.
To...
So firstly, adherence to labor laws, which includes acceptable age, which also includes working hours, which also includes Monsieur certifications. Okay. And that is important to be adhered to. Therefore, it's adherence. There is no choice there. You have to do it.
Yeah. So similarly, with the rise of
certified trainers, certified trainers.
I'm saying messieurs, yeah, here. Okay, this is fitness. So monsieur certifications or trainer certifications, correct? Good.
So with the rise of fitness gadgets, which actually collects a lot of data from the individuals, right? So the privacy law has also comes into picture.
Consumer privacy. Okay. Consumer privacy laws and concerns. Concerns and laws. Okay. Regulations, whatever you want to say. Good. And therefore, it's also called as information security.
Infosecurity.
You may want to get
protection.
ISO certified.
Data protection of the
health and safety. Health and safety. Then obviously quality management systems. All these are important and they need to adhere to it. Information security. What is the point you were making? Somebody was making a point there.
Data protection of the
data
customers.
protection laws. Okay. And with GDPR, every country now has to have their own or probably adapt them, and any new player will have to be mindful about it. So good. This is what it is on the legal. And so if you see, guys, good job. What we see, guys, is that firstly, just to reiterate, it is never going to be a strategy. It is always going to be scanning the market. What is the market telling you? You will, so that's one. Second, in each of the aspects, keep about 5 or 6 points only, not more than that, and take a page or two, print out or soft copy and go with this for your strategy discussions. Number 3, use data generously to support your findings, especially in the economic and the social setups or the social analysis that you will do. This then will be the basis of your strategy, and that's how you're aligning yourself to the environmental strategy or the environment. So your strategy is foolproof of the environment. You can do this any number of times. Of course, we did it in whatever, half an hour. It takes much more time to put this together, and therefore it's done on an annual basis. Okay. It's and last but not the least, reiteration, it is a fact-finding analysis of the environment. That's it, on these parameters. Okay. Yeah, I think there was a hand raise. Somebody did. I don't know who it was, unless the question is answered.
Yeah, it was Vinay.
Okay.
So I was just thinking, one of the point we had put as in the environment part, the climatic conditions of the locations where the manufacturing, distribution, or the training premises would be located.
And what about it?
Maybe the organization has to,
Okay. Organization has to, that's a strategy again.
Yeah, understood.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can say Mumbai has a very hot and humid climate, and therefore fitness has to provide that kind of air quality, that kind of ambience, that kind of air quality basically.
Yeah, the strategy has to be considering the environmental factors, climatic conditions.
Correct. Hot and humid climate. Okay, and therefore organizations provide provide air quality to fitness to customers. It's important, even if it's closed, open. That's besides the point. All right, good. Any other questions, anybody? So that's how ever henceforth, if you're going to put a pestle analysis together in life, that's how you're going to put it. Yeah. Any questions? So hope this exercise is kind of helping us understand how critical is the environmental analysis and strategy development. Number two, it helps us in putting it together to understand what are the challenges and what is the importance of doing this exercise. Yes, guys? Yes, I will tomorrow when we finish all the exercises in class, I will share the spreadsheet with the program office so that they share it with you. Absolutely, I'll do that. Okay, so next framework that we spoke about, and that is on Porter's generic strategy. Yeah, now on Porter's generic strategy, overall cost leadership, differentiation, and focus. Where would you put Airbnb, guys?
Differentiation?
It's differentiation. At the same time, it is cost as well.
Cost leadership.
Yeah. So, guys, in today's times, organizations are expected to do both of them. And if they do both of them, what they're doing is they're doing blue ocean strategy. Blue ocean is making both cost and differentiation at the same time. It is never or. It is never or, it is plus. And that is what your blue organizations want to do. So you have to do both at the same time. And Netflix and Airbnb and Amazon and Apple Pay and all these have done it very, very well to be able to be taking them as an example on cost leadership and differentiation. What about focus? Where would you place Burberry?
Focus about two, sir.
It will be focused because it is a niche product, a premium product, and therefore it is looking at the entire environment, and hence it is of focus. Okay, and all niche products will always be focus. Yep. Any questions on this, guys? So Porter's generic strategy becomes very useful. Now, I just forgot, do you need a quick 5 minutes break or are we good to go ahead like this? Yes, people. Yes. Yeah. What is the verdict? Do you need or do we go ahead? Okay, break. All right, good. So let's take a quick 7 minutes only because we need to finish on time. And let's take that very quickly. 7 minutes natural break, and let's see you in 7. Okay, are we back, guys? Okay, let's move on. Okay, so let's move on, guys, and let's talk about what else we need to. So in addition to the cost leadership that we spoke, Porter's has provided us with the Porter's Five Forces analysis. And Porter's Five Forces analysis looks at 5 different aspects with regards to threat of new entrants, power of suppliers, what is the bargaining power of customers, what are the threat of substitutes, and intention of competition. So the output from each cell comes out as high, medium, or low. So threat of new entrants would be high, medium, or low. Power of suppliers, same story. Bargaining power of customers, intention of competition, and threat of substitutes. So if I were to take Netflix as an example, it's the OTT industry platform. How easy is it for a new entrant to enter this industry? Threat of new entrants, is it high, medium, or low? What would you say, guys, to it? The threat of new entrants would be high, medium, or low. What would you say, guys? It's high. So is it so therefore it is easy for entrants to enter this industry? The answer is probably yes. With a little bit of investment, a little bit of things, you can enter into the OTT industry by offering a channel. That's what India has done with a lot of OTT platforms available for choice. Yeah. So obviously it could be high or medium, but definitely it's not low. What is the power of suppliers? Is it high, medium, or low? Power of suppliers? Suppliers have the control. I would doubt if suppliers have the control. So there would be medium or low, right? For the industry of the OTT. Bargaining power of customers would be very high. They have a choice, and therefore they might decide to move out in case they don't find any value and they will not pay the price for it. What about threat of substitutes? High, medium, or low? It's going to be obviously high, because not only are you going to choose from other OTT platforms, you're also going to choose from competition like entertainment, like theater, like art, like exhibitions, and they're all substitutes to what you want to do for entertainment. What about intention of competition in the market? Obviously, it is when the threat of entry is high, which it is, there are various substitutes available. So competition will also be high. Okay, so this is how you're going to do what we are saying in terms of the different aspects that we're talking about as Porter's 5 forces. threat of new entrants, power of suppliers, bargaining power of customers, intention of competition, and intention and threat of substitutes. When are you going to decide whether you should do a Porter's five forces or you should do a pestle, or probably both? What will drive the decision? Yeah, what's going to drive that decision, whether you should do a Porter's five forces or whether you're going to do this thing? This thing is pestle. Or will you do both? Hello, guys. It honestly makes me feel I'm talking to a wall. So it's not helping me at all. Both why? And you're busy chatting, putting one words in. It's better we are having this as a, as a interactive session. And if you're here, let's interact. Otherwise, what's the point? We'll go back into a mode and I'll just teach and we'll all leave after that. And your async is anyways there. So what's the point of a live session anyways? So can we make the most of it? It's a 2.5 hour session. It's 4 times a thing. And, it's very difficult to go and, talk about these things. And probably if it's not required, let's not do it, because these are, discussions which are more industry specific. So if there is no merit for it, then let's not do it. Let's just do what is in the async and move on. Okay, because I would also like to feel that I have invested my time, right? Because there is no, I'm sorry, but there is no discussion today and it's all a wall. First of all, there's all chat messages doing. Then secondly, there is no, discussions happening on topics. So I feel that, probably there is no want to understand what's happening around us. Let's just do what is relevant and get out of this place. We will not do both. You will only decide. It is going to be based on a decision that you will make. Pestle, you will definitely do. If you also want to do Porter's five forces, this also want to do Porter's five forces is going to be based on the decision whether you want to do a deep dive analysis of what am I saying, of customer, of suppliers, and of competition. And if you want to do that, then extend your answer to also doing Porter's five forces. But if you have a very good understanding of the market without doing a Porter's five forces, it's not required to do a Porter's five forces. We are good to go with a pestle only. So all 10 out of 10 cases, you will do a pestle. You will decide to do a Porter's five forces, and the penetration rate of that is 4 or 5 out of 10. And the reason is, if I want to deep dive into focus areas of competition, suppliers, and customers, then only I do this. Otherwise, I don't do this. I'm better off with Porter's generic strategies than Porter's five forces. Okay. Yes, Nazim, you have a question?
Sir, apologies for earlier. My point is, so Porter's five forces is more to do with rivals, competition, suppliers, buyers, etc. So aren't we covering this aspect in the environmental factors in pestle?
Yeah, we could be covering this in socio-cultural. This we could be covering in environment. We could be covering this in even technological, for that matter. But that's what I said, if we want to deep dive and understand the bargaining power of customers, which we are not covering, we're only talking about influence of customers, social patterns of customers. And if we want to deep dive into any of these 3 aspects, then only a Porter's is done. Otherwise, a pestle is good enough for us to plan and implement a strategy. Yeah.
So, sir, how often is Porter's five forces done?
Okay. Like pestle, it will also be done annually, once a year. And the decision to do this is going to be based on how relevant and how important and how satisfied you are with the output of the pestle analysis. And therefore, everybody does a pestle, half the audience does a Porter's five forces. So if you're in manufacturing, if you want to look at your, if you want to look at quality, excellence, operations, then probably a Porter's five forces will also be done. Is that clear, Nazim? Okay, cool. So the three frameworks, once again, that we have talked about today is Porter's five forces, Porter's generic strategies, and last and final is your pestle analysis. Your decision-making levels, or your strategic decisions should always be decision. Anybody can contribute to strategy, but strategic decisions will only be made by top management. The tactical ones or the implementation ones will only be made by middle management. And the operational day-to-day decisions will be made by junior level management because they understand the process better than anybody else. So yes, the delegation of authority and the job description reflects that very well in the organization as to what you can do, what you cannot do, and what you need to escalate. And that is basically a function of strategic, tactical, and operation decisions. Okay. Vinay or Vijay, I don't know if did not see the name. There was a hand raised there. So who was it? Or is it answered?
Yeah, Vinay.
Okay, yes, Vinay.
Going back to the previous Porter's five forces, is it not Porter's five forces is more pressing or more giving us a insight on having a cost advantage than any other advantages?
That's what I said. If you're happy with your pestle, it's great. But if you're into manufacturing operations and you want to understand these a bit more in detail, you will also do a Porter's five forces.
Yeah, agreed to that. But I think Porter five forces is giving us where we can do better in terms of cost itself, and maybe not other aspects.
No, there is no aspect of cost coming in here, because for cost you'll anyways have to do financial forecasting and benefits, or cost benefit or value. You have to do the cost separately. It is not going to come out of this. This is only going to give you an understanding of the environment. How much of a difficult or how much of an easy environment is it with regards to players, competitors, and suppliers?
Right. Agreed. Because understood. Because I was looking at only the power of bargaining.
Yes.
Of players and consumers, but we have the threat of new entrants and substitutes, which can be the other threats also.
Correct. Now, bargaining power of customers will not be looked in isolation. It will have to be looked at in conjunction with their needs and therefore the social trends. And it will then be reflected in what is your offering and then your cost of that offering.
Understood.
And that is all strategy. This is all finding of the environment. Okay.
So the findings of these would be the basis of the strategies.
Correct. And therefore the basis of your costing value.
Yeah. Agreed.
Okay. So decision-making levels, if you were to plot it on a graph, it is the bottommost pyramid is obviously your day-to-day decisions. Moving up is your tactical decisions, and moving slightly up is your top management or executive decisions that they take. And while, there is this decision-making, it could be democratic, it could be autocratic, depending on the organization culture, but it's a joint thing. And information is very important. Information should be top down and bottom up. People should literally have an open door policy bottom up to be able to communicate their thoughts through a suggestion scheme or through a innovation lab or through a quality circle, whatever be the structure, or a strategy session itself. And they should be able to provide this information or a suggestion to the levels above. And the levels above need to be providing an information as to what is the vision, what is it that they're wanting to do with regards to the organization leaping forward, what are the priorities, and why are these the priorities that have come up. So it should be communicatable, up, top, down, down, up. And it should be a decision structure well laid out with regards to what you can and what you cannot do and what you need to escalate. So again, same thing, strategic decisions, top management with regards to long-term forecast, what regards to changing of market segments, with regards to go-to-market strategy, with regards to make or buy policy, business model changes, all of these are strategic decisions. Your tactical decision will be data-driven decision-making, all falls a lot here. Operational is day to day in terms of, how do I serve the customer? How do I serve the stakeholder? What is the process? Do I follow the process, etc.? So strategic, tactical, and operational decisions as an example. Yeah. So operational, obviously stock and sales data will be required to decide for the cafe to order more coffee for next week or not order coffee. So your ordering process is here. Tactical is what we talk about for a cafe. Tactical decision will be to open early in the morning to attract new customers, and the data should be able to tell you that. Strategic decisions are obviously long-term decisions. Should you own a cafe or should you lease a cafe can be a decision that you want to take. Benchmarking is also becoming very, very important in strategy. And if you don't benchmark, you're living in cuckoo's land, is what they say, and you're only looking at your organization in isolation. So any idea what is the definition of the word benchmarking, or rather what according to you is benchmarking?
Sir, in my opinion, benchmarking is, yes, sir. Well, in my opinion, sir, benchmarking is setting a level of excellence in process, quality, practices with a competitor who has a higher market share, who's a market leader.
Yes, so what is the benchmarking? Can I say benchmarking is a reference or comparison?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and it is comparison or benchmarking or comparison made to a reference made to whom? It could be someone within the industry or it could be someone outside the industry. So if you ever want to do a comparison on customer service and want to get the best of the good practice, it is always going to be Starbucks in retail and Ritz-Carlton in hospitality. So Microsoft, not Microsoft, IBM in its, or no, sorry, Microsoft in its stores in the US uses Starbucks as a reference point to come up with a customer service plan, because Starbucks is a reference or is the benchmark or has the best practice in customer services. Okay, so you are cross-fertilizing. You are using a reference outside of your industry. Now, within the organization, finance can take best practices from marketing or vice versa. So you could have it internally, you could have it externally, which could be a competition, or it could be any other player from another industry. If you must do benchmarking, otherwise your organization is not going to grow, it's going to live in an isolated world. And benchmarking happens by function. So financials are benchmarked, operation processes are benchmarked, organization structures or comp and pay benefits are benchmarked, marketing, product place, price, promotion aspects are benchmarked. So across the board, mission, vision statements are benchmarked, and that is becoming important in terms of how you want to compare yourself to the reference that you picked on board. Yeah, best in class, no, not necessarily. I don't know what your name is. B Sapa, hopefully, because that's the email I get. So your reference is not necessarily for best in class. Your reference is how do I achieve those benefits or those excellences using a reference so that I am giving the best to my stakeholder customer. When you say best in class, you have to define what is class, and that is usually from your competitive set. So if you have, for example, in the chocolate world, there are 100 brands. Are they all your competition? Yes, they are. Are they all your core competition? No, they are not. So you've got to define within the 100 brands, which is your core, your best in your class that you will compare yourselves against on certain parameters. Could be profit, it could be customer satisfaction, it could be customer loyalty, it could be any and all of these as well. Yeah, so clear about the difference between your benchmark and your best in class. So benchmark is required. Every functional manager is expected to do this. It's done once a year at least, or if time permits, for example, marketing, products and services benchmark are done on a quarterly basis because you want to know what is competition done about it. It is a continuous process. What does that mean is it's a continual process. Yes, Vinay?
I think another aspect to the benchmarking process is, though the companies do a benchmarking process, but always we need to keep in mind that the benchmarking, maybe taking up practices as the one company does not really give a competitive advantage if not done holistically, keeping the self-organization into the picture. Like example, if you like Toyota says they have a best practice of TQM, where they have this total quality management, but Toyota itself says that the whole world comes to us and tries to learn. But the problem is they try to implement what we have implemented. They are not trying to learn what they have to implement. So Toyota also says the companies which come to us, they need to just understand our practices, but not replicate these practices because they may not be relevant to their own industries.
That's okay. That's okay. But at least it is an outcome of the benchmark. So then you will not go to Toyota the next year. You'll go to something which is more of relevance. And I'm going to benchmark against what is relevant. So Microsoft is benchmarking against Starbucks on customer service because customer service is of relevance to them. So they want to benchmark against the best. Is that clear, Vinay?
Yes.
So you have to identify what is the relevance of selecting the benchmark. And if it's irrelevant, then that exercise is entirely futile. Okay. Yes, Nazim?
So only if we have time, I would like to give 2 more examples.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Well, I had read somewhere for Etihad. Etihad benchmarks their hospitality with the best hotel in the world and not with the best airline. So that was one example. And second,
and do you know which hotel is it?
Well, so I read it somewhere a few years ago, and I don't remember it now.
It's Ritz-Carlton. Yeah. So banks, airlines, hotels are benchmarking themselves to Ritz-Carlton service standards because their service standards are very well thought through and they are absolutely A class in terms of offering customer service. Okay, good. And
benchmarking could be within a group also of companies,
yes,
conglomerate of sorts.
Yeah, like Tata could benchmark themselves with hotels, with aviation, with manufacturing, with automotive, all of that.
Yeah, I think I'll just add a point here with whatever Nazneen said and comprehending to whatever you said when you talked about Tata Group. We have, I work with Tata Motors and I belong to the Tata Group. So we have, a Tata Business Excellence model, which the entire Tata Groups, it's basically a framework. Which
and do you know what the framework is? Is it from the EFQM framework or have they come up with their own?
No, it's basically from the Malcolm Baldrige.
Okay, Malcolm.
Framework.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've been a external assessor for the Tata Group companies as well. So this is another interesting benchmarking process, which we may say, because different assessors from the group companies itself, like to assess the steel company, Tata Steel Thailand, a group of people from Tata Motors, say Tata Chemicals, Tata Power, and Titan. We were the set of people who went to Tata Steel Thailand, and we gave our insights and brought back a lot of learnings from what Tata Steel Thailand was doing as a part of their, the leadership process, say the strategic process, or their operations, or their
Correct.
workforce process.
Correct, absolutely, and that helps to bring the organization up, or the group rather, to a certain level.
Exactly.
And in this part of the world now, Titan has just entered in the UAE, and its strategy model has been start a couple of stores yourself, gain the experience, and then get into strategic franchising. And that's what they have done, or strategic, not franchising, strategic alliances. And they have partnered with Sharaf DG, which is the largest retail chain here in this part of the world, and they have strategically aligned themselves to be their partner, to use their infrastructure in this market. And that they claim, there was an article just yesterday on it that said that this is our strategy for the brand. Okay. So benchmark is never a one-time activity. It is a continuous activity. And if it's a continuous activity, we want to make sure that we carry it out regularly so that the learnings of yesterday are implemented today, and the learnings of today are implemented tomorrow. So it is a circle of continuous learning. Now, doing the same mistake is not a problem. But I'm sorry, doing a mistake is not a problem, but doing the same mistake it is, and you should avoid making the same mistakes. And hence, a great way of avoiding that would be to benchmark. Another great way to avoid that is obviously to make sure that you're doing your root cause analysis to work on not doing the same mistake again. Yeah. Yes, Vinay?
I think I'll come back again and again, because this point which you just explained of doing once a mistake is okay. Actually, I had one of the assignments which is coming up, in which I was given a case study of MasterCard. So in which the previous chairman of MasterCard, who was Mr. Banga, he has given this
for India.
For India, yeah, I think
MasterCard of India, MasterCard Global, India.
MasterCard,
correct, yeah.
It was MasterCard Global.
Okay.
It was so yeah, but he was an Indian, Mr. Banga. So he has given the in these the caselet which was given. It is explicitly written that Mr. Banga had said to those people at MasterCard that you please go out and take risks, but take learnings. At the same time, the statement which we have said, exactly that is what even Mr. Banga had said, ki, do the mistakes, but it is only for the one time. I can let you go. But for the second time, you have to search yourself in a different organization. So
that is so true.
So that's how organization, senior leadership tries to give liberty to the people for the risk taking.
Absolutely correct. And if the CEO is doing that, it percolates downwards, and everybody along the chain of command is going to follow the same culture. Yeah. Good. Glad you shared it. Wonderful. So benchmarking is important, and the learnings that come out of benchmarking is even more important. So as I said, benchmarking can be done in various areas. The respective business heads will do it for their respective areas. So like functional benchmarking, HR, finance, accounting. Competitive benchmarking is about, competition. What have they done? Internal benchmarking, the Tata example across its different verticals. And strategic benchmarking is basically looking at what are the different strategies that organizations are offering. Now, internal benchmarking can also be something that we call as rationale for target setting. If your performance is 100 and your target has been 100, and now your performance grows to 130 and your target is still 100 for the last 3 years, that's a very poor target setting example. So when you set your targets, please look at the performance benchmarks in the last X years. Also look at what is the competition doing about it. So I might turn around and say, for the first time in the history of the organization, we are saying we will resolve the complaints in 3 days. Competition does it in 1 day. So your 3 days is of no value to the customer. And that is what you need to do, that you need to resolve. And so you should make your targets in line with competition and the industry both. And, obviously your performances as well. So summing it up, what are the benefits of benchmarking? Many benefits. One of the key benefits is it keeps the organization, in its high and in its quest to achieve business excellence. It enables the organization to meet and at times exceed customer expectations. You can think of innovating. You can think of confidence that you will install in saying that, yes, we give you the best practice, and there's no doubt about it that we're giving the best in the industry to our stakeholders. You can review your performance based on these benchmarks. Creativity and innovation is at its high. And last and foremost, you are meeting some quality standards of business excellence within the organization. So benchmarking earlier was a choice. Today, it is more of a necessity. So organizations that don't benchmark are actually, left behind in their quest to excel. So summing up, guys, today's class, what we talked about was macro environment, which is PESTEL, Porter's generic strategies, which is cost differentiation and focus, Porter's 5 forces, and we also spoke about benchmarking. And that's what we spoke about today. Any questions? And just as we talk about this, just let me ask you a question before we say anything else. What is the difference between a digital disruption and a digital innovation? Digital disruption and digital innovation. The spellings are different. Besides that, is there any other difference?
Sir,
Yes.
a disruption could mean it could also mean, out of many things, that a new player like Airbnb has entered the market space and disrupted the entire environment. And also, Airbnb is also digitally innovative with the services that it provides. So I think
what is it? Is it digital innovation or digital disruption?
it could not be both.
No.
Can it be both?
No. Then we might as well call it as innovation. Why do we say disruption? And then here's adding more confusion to it. What is digital transformation? So AI, ML, is it innovation or disruption? Chatbots, robots, all of this. Is it innovation or disruption? That is innovation. Okay. Offering a mobile app to your customers, digital disruption or digital innovation? It's digital disruption. So if you automate something in its crudest forms through technology, then it is a digital disruption. And because you're using a digital technology here, it's called as digital transformation. So digital disruption leads to digital transformation. Sorry, digital transformation is an outcome of digital disruption, and they go hand in glove. Digital innovation is introducing it for the benefit of your customer. So AI, ML, EV, AV, cars that you've introduced, all these are digital innovations. Yeah. Online education platforms, innovation or disruption? These are classic examples of digital disruption and therefore digital transformation.
So can you repeat? I think I got it reverse. So can you please?
The way I see it is, any automation initiative that you do where you use technology, where you offer technology to your customer, like a mobile app or like a, like any automated services that you're offering to your customer, they are all digitally driven, and therefore you've disrupted that customer journey through digital disruption and therefore digital transformation. They are synonyms, I can agree. But digital innovation is offering use of technology, and like big data analytics, in a sense, to me, is digital innovation. With a kind of data that your cloud technology is digital innovation. It was there a lot of years earlier also, but its utility and importance in terms of where it's come today is actually an innovation. Your AI, ML, Python, all these things that you brought into the picture, algorithms are all innovation. Blockchain are all innovations that are coming through into the market. Okay. And they're all, therefore, will have their IP and trademarks.
So what will Airbnb be?
Airbnb is, according to me, an innovation, because they came up with a completely new business model to book to book something based on cost plus differentiation. So it's a beautiful execution of blue ocean strategy through digital innovation.
But with the introduction of online services and obviously with its benefit, why do we call it as a disruption, sir?
Because you were going to the branch to do your activity, right? Now I am saying, don't come to the branch. Here is online, and do it online. So we have disrupted the customer journey, obviously for the betterment.
Right.
Maybe we can say that change of status quo will refer to disruption.
Yes. And you were going to the doctor to get yourself checked up. Now you use a tele-advisor. You've disrupted it with technology.
Got it.
Okay. So just thought of saying that, because when you strategize, we loosely use these words, but they have a purpose or a meaning. Yeah, social media is absolutely a major disruption in this world. Cool.
And OTT platforms would also be an example for disruption.
OTT platform, the Netflix concept is an innovation.
Right. Okay.
Okay, and they've used technology very well to bring about a disruption in the entertainment industry.
Okay.
Okay. So, but Netflix is digital innovation. Okay, good. So good, guys. That's what I wanted to talk, because that is very useful when you plan and strategize in whichever industry you are. These words and these concepts will be essential to you. So if there are no other questions, guys, then I think that's what we had to talk. There is a feedback form being sent on the chat. Kindly fill it. And yeah, then I think we should be able to good to go. So kindly fill the feedback form, and then yes, have a good evening. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor. Good night.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Good night. Bye-bye. Just fill up the form, yeah, and as you exit.